Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Whenever we talk of India's vibrant, varied and dynamic history, we credit politicians, social workers and other leaders with laying the building blocks of this incredible nation. And truly, they are to be commended. But do we recognize the brands that have built India? The names that we see every day and take so much for granted. From our favorite brand of milk to the cars we drive to the banks we trust, these brands have played an active role in shaping India. So starting this week, we salute the brands that build India. I'm Shireen Bhan and I'll be taking you through these fascinating brand biographies.
Utterly butterly delicious.
Utterly butterly delicious. The very old Amul jingle.
Utterly butterly delicious. Amul.
Amul दूध पीता है इंडिया. Hey, ho, yeah.
Amul दूध पीता है इंडिया.
दूध है शक्ति.
दूध है फन.
मस्ती मस्ती हर कदम मेरे साथ चलता है इंडिया. Amul दूध पीता है इंडिया.
And the best slogan I like about it's Amul, the taste of India. The evergreen slogan.
How often can you credit a brand for inspiring a movie, entering the Guinness Book of World Records and starting a revolution? I'm talking about Amul, which inspired Shyam Benegal's Manthan, entered the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest running ad campaign and sowed the seeds for what we call the White Revolution or Operation Flood in India. It's an impressive brand to say the least, with a history almost as long as independent India itself. Let's turn back the clock and take a look at the Amul journey. A brand inspired by the nation's freedom struggle. Amul's story begins with poor milk producers of the town of Anand in Gujarat. These producers were forced to sell milk at arbitrarily determined prices to the collectors of Bolton Dairy. The existing dairy operation then, which had bagged the exclusive rights to supply milk to Bombay. Cut up about the raw deal, they visited Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel gave them only one advice. That is, Polson ne kadi moko. Throw away Polson. He said, if you want to have maximum realization of your produce, that is milk, you should not only produce milk, and you should also process and market it. And to do all this, you should form a cooperative. British government thought these are the illiterate people who do not speak English. How can they run a cooperative society, or they can make... Nobody thought that this will become such a big business owned by farmers. So it started with two village cooperative society in 1946. Today there are 17,000 village cooperative societies with 3.5 million farmers. In 46 we started with 256 liters of milk. Today we are handling around 17 million liters of milk per day. And this year business will be around 22,000 crore rupees. Farmers of Gujarat are owning the whole supply chain. We call it C2C. C2C means cow to consumer. Chris in the Kaira District Cooperative Milk Producers Union, today it's better known as Amul Dairy or Anand Milk Union Limited. For every rupee we spend to buy an Amul product, 86 paise or 86% goes back to the producer. Let's meet one such milk producer, Chandrakant Bhai Patel of Sandesar village in Gujarat.
Farming is not daily income. That is 3 months, 4 months, or as a banana it is 1.25 years. Then only I'll get the income. But daily my requirements for the running my house, this milk business, it is good, and that is giving daily money. I feel proud because it is number one Amul dairy, and we are part of that to run. My elder daughter, she was studying in Bangalore. She completed her B.Pharm. 4 years, every month I used to send 5,000 to 6,000 rupees for her expense. That is only from milk business only I was sending.
Dr. Verghese Kurian played a key role in implementation of new processing technology, marketing and R&D at Amul. He came to Anand on a 6-month government bond in 1949 and stayed for the rest of his life. Following the stupendous success, in 1965, the National Dairy Development Board was set up to replicate the Amul model throughout the country. Under the leadership of Dr. Kurian, the Amul model helped India emerge as the largest milk producer in the world.
I knew it from a long time that integrity, commitment to the cause you are supposed to serve, total commitment. That's the secret of success.
When I was launching Amul milkshakes, we called it real milkshakes. And we did a survey and we found out that the most popular flavors in milkshakes are chocolate and strawberry. So we went to Dr. Kurian and we said, sir, let's launch chocolate and strawberry. And he said, look, chocolate I have, but strawberries I don't have. Where will I get strawberries right from the year from? And he said, you don't need real strawberries, we put essence. He said, no, it's an Amul product. I will not use anything that is not real. I will not launch strawberry. I can launch elaichi. Because I do Amul Shrikhand, so I can launch elaichi. And he said, but elaichi is not a popular flavor. He said, doesn't matter. Life is not just about making more profits.
As more unions in other districts were set up, they decided to join forces, not compete, and save on advertising costs. This led to the setting up of the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation in 1973, which then became the apex body which owned the Amul brand name. That year, the 5 lakh members of the GCMMF paid 2 rupees each to finance Shyam Benegal's Manthan, a film inspired by the real-life events at Anand.
I said, I think I have enough material to be able to do a story film, a proper fiction film, which could then be run in cinema halls. Dr. Kurian, of course, readily agreed. But the whole idea was that how are you going to finance this film? Now, at that time, there were 500,000 members of the milk cooperative societies altogether. So 500,000 members. So he asked me, Dr. Kurian asked me, he said, how much money do you think will be required to make a feature film? So I said, well, it will have to be a small budget picture. So I said, maybe, in about 10 lakhs of rupees we can make this film. So he said, well, it's just 2 rupees per farmer. In Ahmedabad that day, when we opened the film in the evening, there were trucks and trucks of farmers coming from different parts of Gujarat to see their own film. Most of the credit really should go to Dr. Kurian, because the success of Amul and success of Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation and later on of the National Dairy Development Board is one of the greatest success stories of independent India.
GCMMF has the largest distribution network for an FMCG company. Amul is also the largest exporter of dairy produce in the country, its products available in over 40 countries across the world. Throughout its success, one aspect has remained constant: its funny, irreverent advertising. The Amul Butter Girl hoardings created by Sylvester de Cunha and sketched by Eustace Fernandez were a product of necessity because newspapers were expensive, radio not very effective, and TV non-existent.
He went to Dr. Kurian at that time in the 60s and said, look, I need your permission to be able to do this campaign, number one. Number two, your permission to be able to do it not selling the brand necessarily, but selling topical events. And third is your permission to not show it to you. And till today, we do not show the campaign to the client and backed us completely.
Today, Amul's product range includes milk, milk powder, cheese, cheese spreads, butter, ghee, ice cream and buttermilk, to name just a few. Amul is also experimenting with ATMs or anytime milk machines to dispense milk and dairy products.
See, now Amul, we are mainly stressing more on fresh products and also on Indian traditional product like sweets, etc. So we are working on that more side. How to make Indian traditional sweets available throughout India with a longer shelf life.
In some ways, the innovation at Amul is a ray of hope for a country often accused of taking shortcuts. What started as a movement against inequality has helped India become the first among equals in its field. One of the biggest compliments for Amul came when a British butter brand named its product utterly butterly. Let's take a short break at this point, but when we are back, we get an expert view on brand Amul.
The fact that the advertising lived up and took it many stages forward, and I think is to its credit. It's not malicious. The comment is it can be sarcastic, it can be playful, it can be cheeky, but it is never malicious.
On brands that build India, we're talking about the utterly butterly impressive Amul. Santosh Desai, the managing director and CEO of Future Brands, knows the brand very well. He was a part of a book called Amul's India, which traced the history of the brand through its charming billboards.
If you look at the Amul campaign in its entirety, it's almost like you're sitting on as an observer in the vantage point of history. It's not malicious. The comment is it can be sarcastic, it can be playful, it can be cheeky, but it is never malicious. And I think it's a very fine line that the campaign has walked. And so yes, it has, if you look back at the archives, some of those ads are eye-popping because they really are edgy.
I think we are a country that's got a sense of humor. I think that for the most part, we've had feedback from all the parties, political parties. That's your danger point, right? It's your political parties. They laugh. The Congress laughs, the BJP laughs. They're united in one thing, that this has been such a long-running campaign. It's really a sitting on the fence campaign that is just it's basically commenting on what the common man is thinking. This girl has stayed in people's minds. She's become everyone's girl.
In many ways, it was engineered to be iconic at a certain level because I think the idea itself is so powerful. The fact that the advertising lived up and took it many stages forward, and I think is to its credit, and that's what made it iconic as a brand. But I think the idea itself must get credit for being truly radical and new. It has helped that the products also that have come out of it have lived up to the Amul name. It is a brand that is owned by farmers at one level, but at a consumer level, all of us in a sense are stakeholders. And that ability to create a sense of having a stake in that brand and believing in it in some form, having implicit trust. I think these are reasons why Amul has held its own, even in the wake of competition.
From the expert to the lay user, it's time now to listen to the voice of the people.
Yeah, I like Amul flavored milk.
Cheese.
Amul Taza.
Amul ice cream. Even Amul lassi, the buttermilk, Amul chas. Because I love ice cream, I would definitely always go for Amul ice cream. There's even cocoa, cool cocoa and all that's available.
I like Amul Cool the most. The butterscotch flavor is damn tasty. It's very refreshing.
I like Amul Lassi the most, and Amul cheese and Amul butter are the best as it is.
We tried switching to other products for butter, but
Amul is kind of the best one which fits in your pocket money with the best taste available.
Amul has been around for many years, and I don't think I remember any one product before Amul.
A brand that enjoys immense loyalty. We'll take a break at this point, but coming up we take a look at the organization's CSR activities.
6 years ago, we realized that, we have such a huge network of 3.5 million farmers. So we decided that on a single day, that is on our Independence Day, 15th August, every farmer could plant some trees. So as on date, we have about 4.5 crore trees which are planted.
This is the brands that build India, and on this week's show we're talking about Amul. One thing that sets apart a good commercial brand from a brand that truly builds India is its corporate social responsibility initiatives, and that's where a cooperative union like Amul scores big. The devastating earthquake at Bhuj on the 26th of January 2001 was just 400 kilometers away from Anand. As the residents of Bhuj and Gujarat stoically limped back to life in normalcy, GCMMF decided it was its responsibility to give back. The Amul Relief Trust was set up with a donation of 50 million rupees to reconstruct schools in the Kutch area that were damaged by the earthquake.
There was earthquake, a very big earthquake in Gujarat. We have Amul Relief Trust or Amul Relief Foundation. Through that, we adopted about 25 villages in which we started or we rebuilt the school, buildings which were ravaged by the earthquake. So that is a small measure of, social responsibility that if we were to define that way. Otherwise, our entire organization is about corporate social responsibility.
Another big initiative is tree plantation. Realizing the impact of deforestation, climate change and livestock, milk producers of Amul have decided to plant saplings every Independence Day and monitor and maintain them till they grow into trees.
6 years ago, we realized that, we have such a huge network of 3.5 million farmers. So we decided that on a single day, that is on our Independence Day, 15th August, every farmer could plant some trees. So as on date, we have about 4.5 crore trees which are planted, and I am glad to inform you that the success rate, which normally is not very high in such cases, the success rate is about 70%.
Founder Chairman Tribhuvan Das Patel won the Raymond Magsaysay Award for his role in founding Amul. But in true philanthropic style, he donated that prize money to set up a charitable trust to take care of the needs of the villagers in the Kaira district. The Tribhuvan Das Foundation is a need-based healthcare program that's run by the villagers themselves. It provides treatment for common ailments, immunization through vaccination, and identification of and referrals for more serious terminal illnesses. Amul, a brand that's truly Amul or priceless when we see its place in Indian history. With that, it's time for us to wrap up this edition of the Brands That Build India. Thanks very much for watching. If you have feedback and comments, do send us your messages on Twitter. We'll see you again same time next week. Till then, from the entire team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.